since I didn't actually get to see
really
this
exciting.
final moment of the game.
Yeah, so basically, it's looking like Loud is trying to get a pincer move on. They have Infernal Soul, so they think they're going to be able to win any of these fights, except the Kai'Sa just gets evaporated at the start of this fight, which I think is really crucial, since you know Yuumi plus Hecarim or Yuumi plus Sivir can just supply so much team fight damage towards the end. And really no one, to me, can get on top of Yutapon this whole time, and he just kind of shreds through everybody on the team. But then, like, after that, they're still racing against the respawn timers.
Right.
To see if they can end the game. So, yeah, we're going to go all the way through this one, Dash. You can experience it once again.
I'm grateful to production for allowing me this opportunity. Lyric, what was your impressions of this game overall as we watch the final moments?
Honestly, it's just like every game. I feel like every game in the series so far has been absolute. I mean, again, the fact that
they're all back and forth.
The fact that again, Mark was right.
Yeah.
You're constantly on the edge of your seat with how back and forth these team fights are going, how crazy the rotations have been. And I mean, Loud having Soul but still not able to close this one out. DFM almost not able to end, needing the assassination potential when you have Yuumi there to pretty much supplement everything that the side of DFM has.
Yeah, and going over the highlights, this was a very back and forth game. One thing that I think has been pretty common throughout all three is DFM is the scaling team, and Loud is the team that's trying to make most things happen in the early game. But I would also say DFM has kind of looked like the better team in all three games, because they haven't fallen far enough behind in the early game, and then the scaling brings it through. This was a very ill-advised Drake start by Croc.
Yeah, kind of just like hitting on your point of DFM looking like the better team, I actually think this game was probably the most clear example, because they had numerous points where, this series must have been about team fighting. DFM were out-rotating Loud in a lot of these games. The second Rift Herald especially, where Loud pull out the TP from DFM, and then we have this play where the Taliyah wall stops him from going to mid lane. DFM are able to take that mid lane turret, and just so many situations like that. Heck, even third dragon, where they're like, hey Loud, you can go start third dragon. We break tier 2 turret down in mid lane. So I think some really smart plays, and actually it might have been this fight that turned into.
This fight was crazy. I thought this fight is what was going to put Loud up 2-1 in the series, actually, because this wasn't even the soul fight yet, but they got the third Drake, and I'm like, okay, they should literally just run away. They were not in, to me, a favorable position, but they clutch this fight out. Watch Janone's here. He should be dead. Yuumi, Sivir both miss. He hops away, but then he actually manages to re-engage in this fight later as the Rel flies in and gets a stun. And this is where Brance is going to kick himself. Watch this. Watch Brance at the bottom right.
Oh, no!
Fed a bunch of gold over to Taliyah, which made that not as big of a fight win. And then this one, I also think, was generally an outplay. So because Jax could buy so much time, it's literally just burst the Soul. And Soul gives you so much combat power, you think this is going to be the clincher for the game, but it ultimately was not.
Yeah, especially an Infernal, you would think. But to me, that goes to support the point that DFM has looked like the better team in these late game moments. It's typically Loud that's pushing the pace early, trying to build an advantage and then hold on to it. DFM, while again, it hasn't been clean necessarily across the series for either team, as it's been back and forth, they are typically the one that feels a little bit more synergistic in the late game, a little bit more set up around objectives.
It makes sense too, right? Mark was hitting on it that, I mean, this is the experienced team that has played together